Your presence alone is the divine gift. And confidence is when you express that, however it is that it's meant to come through you. And the more and more and more that you do that, the more and more comfortable with yourself you become. And the more and more that people get to experience your unique energy. I mean, think about it. There is only one you. When I was in my teens, my late teens, I had this understanding that what confidence was exactly what I picked up from the movies. I thought confidence was about putting your heels on and holding yourself up high and carrying yourself in a very erect and poised way. And, just walking around with your nose up high and your eyes just straight and narrow, focused, determined. And the more and more that I started learning more about myself and who I was and who I am, and the more and more that I started to own it, the more and more I began to understand what true confidence actually felt like. So there's two types of confidence. There's projected confidence and there's inner confidence. Projected confidence is the type of confidence that anyone can have. Anyone can project out this energy or this facade of confidence, right? Maybe you've had this experience when you went to buy a car, and we've all heard stories about car salesmen, right? Where the type of confidence that they have is this projected confidence in order to do what's got to be done and sell that car. Not to say it's the same with every single car salesman, but for the majority of the stories that we hear, or what many of us have experienced, they've got this projected confidence on so that they could sell this car. And it's almost like an outer facade. It's an outer facade. It's playing the role of being a salesperson. And you might feel this way in your own life sometime, where there's you and then there's a projected version of you in the role that you're playing. And so there's this projected sense of confidence that's out there. You might experience this when it comes to social media, where it's almost like you have to project yourself in a certain way so that you can ensure to everybody, I'm confident, right? And I've experienced that myself where, I would walk into these business rooms. I remember when I was in my early years in college, I was like freshman and sophomore, I used to go to as many meetups and business types settings as much as I could, because I knew that I always wanted to own my own business and understand the world and how it works and all of that. And I remember wearing really nice suits and walking into these rooms, and I would just have this projected confidence that I thought that I needed to have. And that doesn't look relaxing, right? And the more and more that I started to own more of who it was that I am, the more and more I started to realize that true innate confidence isn't a show. It's not a performance. It's not something that you have to put on. When you are truly confident in yourself, you are just showing up as you. You are owning all that you are. Your ums, your stutters, your filler words that you use, nervousness, and you're owning it. That's true confidence. Confidence is having such a belief in yourself that you are willing to grow at the risk of judgment. Because you are not going to forsake who you are to look a certain way. You are willing to grow and understand yourself at the risk of other people judging you, because you are not going to conform or change or project outwards anything that you are not. And the more and more that I started to live my life this way, the more and more comfortable that I started to feel with myself. And you know what happens when you start owning your innate confidence in this way? Is you start noticing more of the types of energy exchanges that feel good to you and the types that feel surface. And I don't know about you, but I have a really hard time living on the surface. When we have a projected confidence, we're mostly living on the surface. We're not digging deeper. We're not trying to understand ourselves or the person across from us at a deeper level because we're wearing something on. We only want people to know what's on the outside. And it literally feels like a performance. That's why we feel tired. That's why so many of us at the end of the day, we just feel so tired. I mean, it takes a lot of energy to put on a face or to put on a mask. But when you are innately confident in yourself, you just believe in yourself so much that you're willing to take risk. You are willing to put yourself out there. You are willing to try. That's how we build actual confidence, is we put ourselves out there and we try at the risk of failure and at the risk of judgment from other people. Think about some of the greatest pioneers, innovators in the world. They did not start off perfect. What we're seeing today is the finalized, perfected, refined version of thousands of mistakes and risks that they took to get there. You see, when we're living from a place of projected confidence, we miss out on a lot. We miss out on a lot of opportunities to know ourselves because we're spending time putting on this facade versus actually exploring or allowing ourselves to take that risk, to be different, to be unique, and to allow ourselves to stand out and to fail. You know, I think about Thomas Edison, who invented the light bulb. There's this really popular saying about how it took him 10,000 tries. Now that just sounds ludicrous. If we backed up to when we were living in the caves and, somebody told you that, hey, you could just press a plastic thing on the wall and the light's about to come on, the light will come on. I mean, that's ludicrous. That's mind-blowing. Or if when we were living in caves, if somebody told you that one day there's going to be metal, hovering over the sky that brings you from here to there when all you're used to doing is walking on your feet, that sounds ludicrous. But for these people to create, to invent, to innovate, to do something different, they build the confidence by believing in themselves at the risk of failure and at the risk of judgment. So they don't put anything on. There's no facade, there's no projected confidence. It's just what they innately know and hear. So when I think about confidence, what I think about is your divine gifts. We all have them. It's all inside of us. Your presence alone is the greatest gift to the world. Your presence alone is the divine gift. And confidence is when you express that, however it is that it's meant to come through you. And the more and more and more that you do that, the more and more comfortable with yourself you become. And the more and more that people get to experience your unique energy. I mean, think about it. There is only one you. There's nobody else out there that is like you, that have the habits that you do, that talk the way you do, that have the tonality that you do. So that's special. That's a special experience. That's a special energy exchange. So if you find that you're lacking confidence in yourself and you find that you're living in doubt and you feel like you have to project something on, and it really feels like you're living in a show every single day, I want to invite you to explore. Got a little itch here. I want to invite you to explore what makes you you. If you take away other people's judgments and their opinions, what makes you you? How does it, when the camera isn't on, right? Like when I'm talking like this, I like to talk as if the camera is not even on. I just like to have you peeking in as if we're sitting down and having a conversation. But if you were living your life in such a way that the camera wasn't on, or if people weren't around you, who are you? Who are you there? Who are you when nobody else is looking? Because that's a version of you that more people need in the world. More people need that. And the more and more that you can be that, gosh, I feel like it's medicine. I feel like it's medicine to just be yourself. It's so healing because you're expressing what feels true to you. Even if it's not going to be true to you 5 minutes down the road or a year later or 5 years later, because we're always evolving, but at least in the moment, you're expressing what feels true to you. And to me, that's confidence. So confidence isn't this huge, grandiose thing. It's just about owning who you are and allowing yourself to express yourself the way that you desire to express yourself at the risk of other people's judgments and failure. And owning every part of it. And just being all of you, no matter which place that you go. Bringing your full self to the table. And it's fun for people. It's different. So how can you honor more of yourself today? How can you make more mistakes? How can you allow yourself to fail more? How can you take these failures as lessons that you learn along the way that then build up your confidence? We don't become more confident by sitting here and Googling, how do I be confident? How to be more confident? And just watching a bunch of videos or reading on a bunch of content on how to be confident. Confidence requires our embodiment. It requires our expression. And that means allowing yourself to mess up. So the more and more that you get out there, the more and more that you do the thing, whatever it is that's been sitting on your heart, the more confident you're going to feel. Because behind your will and your determination is the divine will and the divine determination. And when you live in union with the divine will and the divine determination, you are going to be the purest expression of your divine gifts. And you are going to bless the world with that. So I hope this helps. I am sending you all my love today. And I hope you go out there and you just be you. And you allow your own innate confidence to exude everywhere you go. Until next time, serve your highest and greatest good. May peace and prosperity effortlessly flow your way.